Kamusta kayong lahat? Welcome to my YouTube channel. Firstly, gusto ko kayong pasalamatan sa lahat ng support sa channel na ito, especially yung mga new subscribers and of course to our returning subscribers. Sa video na ito, pag-uusapan natin ang mga bawal at mga dapat kainin ng mga pasyenteng nag-iingat para hindi magkasakit sa puso at syempre sa mga pasyenteng may sakit na sa puso. Pag-uusapan natin kung anong mantika yung dapat gamitin, ilang itlog yung dapat kainin in a week. So kung gusto niyo malaman ang mga ito, tara, samahan niyo ako. Sa lahat ng mga diets na nauuso, ang isa sa mga napatunayan na maganda para ma-prevent ang heart disease at sa mga pasyenteng may sakit na sa puso ay ang Mediterranean diet. Mediterranean diet kasi ito ang mga pangkaraniwang diet ng mga bansa around the Mediterranean Sea, which are Italy, France, Germany. If we look into their diet, mataas ang kanilang diet into fruits and vegetables. Ang fruits and vegetables ay rich in vitamins and minerals, fibers, wala silang fats except for few, which are coconut and avocados. But between coconut and avocados, yung avocados have healthy fat. In fact, sa isang trial, na tinignan nila doon kung anong epekto ng avocado sa weight loss at sa cholesterol ng patients, yung mga pasyente na nabigyan ng avocado regularly, although hindi sila nag-lose ng weight, ay gumanda naman ang kanilang cholesterol profile. Yung LDL or yung low density lipoprotein, which is the bad cholesterol, ay bumaba at yung HDL or yung high density lipoprotein, which is the good cholesterol, in fact ay tumaas. So we consider the fat of avocado a healthy fat. So it is good to have regular avocados in your daily diet. Yung mga frozen fruits, okay din naman as long as wala silang heavy cream kasi nasa cream yung cholesterol and fats. Yung ding mga fruit salad na nasa heavy syrup should be avoided because they contain a lot of sugar. And we know that excess sugar can cause diabetes, and sugar is also now considered the new cholesterol because it can also add to the risk of having coronary vascular disease or cardiac problems. When it comes to grains or butil sa Tagalog, mas maiging kumain ng mga whole grains, for example, tulad ng oatmeal, tulad din ng mga whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread. By the way, when it comes to the bread, you need to look at the label kasi iba yung wheaten bread, iba din yung whole wheat bread. So yung whole wheat bread is actually better. Sa kanin, better yung brown rice because it's a whole grain compared to the polished rice already. In studies, they have been shown that whole grains contain fiber for our digestion and of course for a healthy heart because it can lower cholesterol markedly. So yung mga pagkain na gawa na sa mga refined grains like for example refined flour, tulad ng muffins, donuts, cakes, yung mga mamon, they should be avoided because they don't contain as much fiber and they actually contain simpler sugar na pwedeng magpataas ng sugar at risk of heart problems and diabetes as well. By the way, sa mga refined flour, kasama dyan yung mga noodles na nakikita natin sa instant noodles, that's why they should be avoided. And aside from being a refined flour, yung egg noodles, they also contain a lot of salt. So high salt diet then if you eat a lot of egg noodles. When it comes to proteins, it is actually better to choose the low-fat sources of proteins. Ibig sabihin, if we can choose, for example, fish, and of course a chicken without the skin, and dun sa fish, depende kung anong klaseng fish na pwede nyo kainin yung fats. Kung yung fish ay freshwater like bangus or tilapia, the fats that contained dun sa tiyan nila, they are best avoided. However, the healthy fats ay nanggagaling sa mga deep sea fishes like tuna, salmon. Yung mga fats nun are usually under the skin and pwede silang kainin because they can lower bad cholesterol and in fact can increase good cholesterol levels in the blood. They can also lower triglycerides, and triglyceride is another form of cholesterol in our blood which is associated with heart disease. So yung mga deep sea fishes, they are good sources of omega-3 fatty acids which have been shown to improve heart health. Yung low-fat or non-fat milk would also be good. Yogurt. By the way, yung egg is a good source of protein, especially yung egg white kasi yun naman talaga yung pure albumin. Yung egg whites, you can actually eat unlimited yung egg whites, pero yung yolk, you should limit it to less than 4 times a week only. only. Because yung egg yolks, although it's rich in biotin, B complexes, it's also rich in cholesterol. Yung pagkain ng more than 4 times a week of the egg yolk has been proven to increase the risk of heart problems or cardiovascular diseases. Ano pa yung mga ibang source ng proteins? Of course, soybeans, tofu, yung taho, that's actually a good source of protein. Except, wag lang natin lagyan ng masyadong arnibal para wala namang excess sugar. Yung mga legumes like beans, peas, lentils, they're actually good. Now, there are also proteins to avoid. Ano ba yung mga dapat nating i-avoid na proteins? Yung proteins na galing sa internal organs, we know they're associated with increased uric acid. Yung mga processed meats din, like for example, hot dogs, bacons, in fact, kasama din dun yung corned beef. By the way, just a trivia, corned beef, corn means salted. So yung corned beef has high salt content, so they are best avoided. Pag canned meats then, they actually have higher content of salt. In fact, it has been proven already in studies that eating processed meat is not good for the health. So, how to avoid the fats in meat products? You need to trim the fats kasi we are only allowed to have 10% of the fat in a serving. Like for example, yung mga visible fat like yung taba ng baboy or taba ng baka, they are better trimmed off or tinatanggal para mabawasan yung fat intake natin and we get most of the protein. Ngayon, punta naman tayo sa mga mantika or oil na pwede nating piliin. It is better to use yung mga liquid plant oils like canola, olive oil, compared to the coconut or palm oil. The reason for that, kasi yung canola and olive oil, they have polyunsaturated fatty acids, which are the healthier variety of oils. Yung coconut oil, which is common, and the palm oil, they're common. Yan yung mga usual natin ginagamit. They have monounsaturated fatty acid, and they are healthier than lard or animal fat, pero the healthiest would be that of the canola oil and the olive oil. Pero whatever oil you are using, it is best to limit using oil to less than 3 to 4 times a week of frying. Kasi yung katawan natin, kahit walang cholesterol, in fact, yung mga plant oils, yung ating katawan ay gagawa ng cholesterol from this if we take in excessive amounts. And yung excessive amounts din ng oil will increase our triglycerides. Again, that is another form of bad fat na pwede mag-cause ng baradong ugat sa puso. Of course, ang pinaka-worst ay yung animal fat. So pag tayo ay nagpiprito, for example, ng pork chop, or for maybe an occasion, gumamit kayo na nagprito kayo at merong excess oil na nanggaling sa fat ng baboy or baka, try not to reuse it because it contains a lot of cholesterol which is bad for our heart. Between margarine and butter, it is better to use margarine because it comes from plants and it does not have cholesterol compared to that of butter. Again, you need to limit it, however, because if you take a lot of margarine as well, it will be converted to cholesterol by our body. So it's best to limit this in moderation. Next, we need to avoid excess salt. Kung pwede namang kumain ng hindi ganun kaalat, mas okay yon. And we don't advise using patis or table salt already kung okay na yung timpla ng ulam para malimit din natin yung salt intake. We are all aware na pag mas mataas ang ating salt intake, mas mataas ang chance na magkaroon ng mataas na blood pressure, hindi lang ng sakit sa bato, and this can actually cause cardiovascular disease or even heart attack. So ano ba yung mga condiments na ginagamit natin na mataas sa salt? Of course, patis is there, soy sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise is also included. So mayonnaise is not only high in fats because it contains oil and eggs, it is also high in salt. So they are best limited to a small amount. Yung sugar should also be avoided. In fact, we know that sugar can cause diabetes, yung excess, and especially yung white and refined sugar or mga simple sugars. So yung mga sugary drinks like yung mga sodas or soft drinks are best avoided. And maybe lastly, try to avoid alcohol. Pero kung umiinom na kayo ng alcohol, make sure that you take in alcohol the healthier way and in moderation. By the way, meron akong video or vlog about sa alcohol. Kung hindi man natin ito maiwasan, pwede nating maiwasan ang mga bad effects nito sa ating katawan, especially sa puso. Please watch the video. I will put in the description box below the link so you can watch it. Ito ang platong Pinoy at ito ay ginawa ng mga doctors at mga nutritionist experts and you will see kung paano siya dapat gawin So yung mga carbohydrates should be coming from complex carbohydrates, and they should comprise 1/4 of the plate. Like for example, you can see corn, brown rice, you can see sweet potatoes, or kamote. It's actually a good source of fiber and complex carbohydrates. 1/4 will be coming from lean protein cuts like skinless chicken, fish, and of course lean cuts of white meat and eggs. Again, limited to less than 4 times a week. And half should be comprised of vegetables and fruits because of they are rich in vitamins and minerals and fiber as well. So this is the Platong Pinoy, and this is the ideal healthy heart diet that we can use na pwede nating gawing guide para maiwasan natin na magkasakit sa puso at sa mga pasyenteng may sakit sa puso para hindi na ito lumala. Sana ay mayroon kayo ulit natutunan sa video na ito. Kung gusto nyo pa ng mga ganitong klase ng video, just stay tuned for my future uploads. And for our healthcare professionals, may mga videos ako, instructional videos about how to interpret and read ECGs with confidence. It can supplement your ECG learning journey. See you next time!